Have you ever wanted to be in car care, but never had a nice enough car? Well, this set of Audio-Technica ATH-A2000Zs can fulfill your life of endless polishing. This isn't even a brand new pair. These were loaned to me by someone who had a couple requests. First request, can of wallpaper. That was number one. Number two, can you make detachable cables for it? Because the stock cable, and I'm going to point this out again, that the 2000X and the 2000Z are basically Audio-Technica's. You know this name, this popular name, they make a lot of headphones. Basically, they're flagship. When I talk about flagships, I'm thinking, oh, LCD4s, ATH-A2000Z, Shangri-Las, HD-800s. Those are the headphones that reach up and they end up on your wall. Ether C flows and stuff like that. So these are about half the price of normal flagships. I mean, they're not cheap. I got these for a little less than $500, and they were worth more than that. And these right now on Amazon are roughly $650. If you stop watching yet, they're over $600. Okay, they're expensive, and they're expensive. And they come with an attached cable, which has now been detached. And it's the exact same cable that came on my 2000X that I had to detach manually with a fucking soldering iron and a scissor. So, be gone, fucking thought wire. By the way, I always thought that thought was thought, like what you think. And it was just telling people that have their own opinions to leave. And it took a while. I didn't dumb it down in my own personal brain space to that hoe over there. Just pointing that out. I didn't know. I'm just too innocent a person. Anyway, couple things about these headphones. Number one, they're a little bit pricey. Number two, when you get them, they're a little bit uncomfortable because they do this thing. They do the same thing that thing did, where you put them on your head, and you see how we could twist like this, but there's no adjustment of this angle, so you just have to spread it out. Keep spreading it, just like Daddy used to tell you. Keep spreading it, and then eventually they fit like a person's head. Like here, look. Note on those, there's massive pads that take up the space to adjust it. The stock pads in this, just like the stock pads on this, are very thin. And I've actually molested the top bands on that one. I didn't want to do it to these, to try to fix that. So instead of it stabbing you in under your ears, it would sit flat. So if you go to the sound demo, because most of you people don't watch the sound demo. If you go to the sound demo of these, I actually had to strap them closed because the gap above the pads was so wide that it was just leaking sound and it was ruining everything. Anyway, so there's not the stock pads on here, and that's several reasons that I changed out the stock pads too. Those are the Dakoni TH-900 sheepskins. Hi. Good. Glad she's keeping herself busy. These are the stock pads. The owner also sent them with these, which are the velour versions. And I tried them both, and to my complete surprise, they changed the sound almost nothing. Almost none. But do they need the sound changed by pads? Just a touch. Anyone who knows my 2000Xs will know this. They don't have bass, and their highs are fucking incredible. There's the word is in hyphen fucking hyphen credible. And that sound signature is in here, but closed. So you close back AD-2000. Oh my fucking God, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. If they weren't scratched up, there's a couple scratches. I don't know, probably 7 owners. They're also very stiff to twist, whereas those sort of twist nice and easy. These are like, Made in Japan, attached wire. This system, that some people love it and some people hate it. I don't mind. Once you adjust the actual angle of this so it sits flat and grabs your head, it doesn't slide down, which is what the main problem is. And you can sit here and bend these titanium, I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. It's not my pair. I can't do it. So I did something else. I said, okay, it was the last day or two before I started. This is my second take on the review, by the way, or third. I don't remember. A lot of drinking in between. Let's try the pad swap. Let's try pad swapping because I have a fucking drawer filled with pads. I have more pads in a drawer worth more than like most of the headphones on my wall. And I pulled these out and I was just pushing them on and I realized, holy shit, now the comfort's great. And then holy shit, since they're angled pads, if you don't put the angle straight back and you sort of twist it up to the top, it takes up the gap from them tilting in too far. You could see the fat parts up here, and then it gets thinner like right in the middle. And they fit, and they fit well. And then it changes the sound just a bit. Just a bit. What you get is more low end. Because even closed, it's still not anemic, but just it just needs a little bit of low end. And then the treble that I thought was a little bit sharper than it was on these. Just please no. Just brings it down just a touch. Putting it in big, taking it from this, taking it from this to that brings the treble down just a fucking touch. And now they're perfect. So it's been rare that I do a review that I actually say there's a requirement. There's a pad change requirement. Some pads are just super uncomfortable, but this did enough. If you're going to pay as much as you're going to pay for these headphones that you can't afford a $60 pair of pads on top of it, then you should start lower down the tiers. Zios, sum this review up. I got things to do. I'm fucking busy. You see my Ether C flows up there? They're my top tier. They're my pick for best highs, best everything. And these come a close second with highs. Bass is still going to be better on that, right? These are not for bass. These are not bass head cans. But for treble, for fucking pianos and string guitars and female vocals, hashtag sexism, because female vocals and male vocals are the same. No, and for female vocals, these are so fucking close to those in a dynamic for a third of the price. And then you do this mod with the pads, and the comfort shows up, and then you spend the time to cut them apart, so you could actually use these are the Periapt cables, by the way, and I'm using the balanced Periapt orange there, because, super, awesome gangster. And I got these running off the Dark Voice tube right now. Why? Why not? Is really the question. Matches. Oh, the bass is just enough now. It's just, The real reason you buy 2000Xs or now 1000 or 2000Zs is imaging. That's Assault on the Tower by Michael Kamen from the Die Hard 1 soundtrack. And I love that 8.5-minute song. I play it on every speaker system. You don't get a lot of Soundstage. You don't get a lot of Soundstage with those. In fact, adding those massive fucking 2-thumb wide pads to it added a little bit more Soundstage, which is all I really needed to sit there and really suck up the enjoyment from them. And adding these pads, it's a little tiny bit of Soundstage. Not a lot, but you just need a little bit. You just need a little bit. I hate when it's dead flat. There's only a couple headphones that actually do dead flat and don't bother me. And those were one before I modded them, and then now just a little bit more, just a little bit fucking more with those pads. When I send these back, I'm emailing the owner and saying, look, buy Deconi TH-900 pads, because you just can't. I'm not even gonna put his pads back on, because I need him to order the pads and then put these pads, just put them in a drawer. This is the answer to your questions. Did you have questions? I hope you had questions, because I just answered them. Boom. This is all about imaging. This is all about having a sound go not from here to sort of here to the right. It's about sound fucking crawling 0.5 millimeter at a time across your soundscape of your brain. That's what these do. And I've experienced amazing soundstage, like wide as hell, and then imaging. The 1000Xs, 2000, the one X1s, X2s by Philips Fidelio. Amazing soundstage and low end. Piss poor imaging. I wouldn't play a first-person shooter for, like, competition with X1s or X2s. But I would play Doom, single player, where that shit doesn't matter, all fucking day with those. Because holy shit, monsters and explosions, and I love it. These are much more serious gaming cans, if you're talking about gaming. I have to sort of intermix gaming and music, because there's very, very different needs. And I'm going to discuss those. Maybe I'll just record the video after this because it doesn't take any effort. But the imaging is It's the best Audio-Technica can do. It's the best Audio-Technica can do. Both of these headphones, I don't know if they share the same driver. I've been inside this, so it probably doesn't look the same. But, ooh, they're just both, that's their thing. Audio-Technica has fucked up many a headphone. Ready? We'll make a list. M20X. I've never heard, but I'll assume bad things. M30X. I've heard bad things. M40X. On my wall. REM. On top of it. M50X. M60X. Reserved for future use, I guess, Audio-Technica? I don't... M70X. M70X hurt more than anything's hurt in a long while. Maybe like DT990s. Certainly the T90s hurt the most, but they were up there and like the do not buy these hurt and bad. But then you get up to their high-end stuff and you get up to this series, just the Air series. The Air 500's great, 700's great, 900's great, 1000's fucking great, 2000's I own them. And I did the 1000Zs, and they're fucking great, and I gave them a thumbs up for gaming. And then I got the 2000Zs, and they need a little tweak. You put the pads on here. Once you put the pads on here, then they beat the 1000Zs. That's the you need the pads. They need to say made in Japan. You need to never touch the cups, because if you touch the cups, you're buffing the cups. Do you want to be buffing cups the rest of your life? I don't think so. Just fucking look at that. Oh, okay, so what else? String quartet, Muse, In Your World. Exactly what these headphones were designed to do. John Wick, Baba Yaga. John Wick OST. Had a terrible nightmare about it, I just want to point out, where Keanu Reeves died, and my sister found out on her phone, and then I just started screaming. It was like, but John Wick 3, no! It was like the worst fucking nightmare. Imagine that nightmare is where I dream that my sister gets a text message and we're shopping, and she's like, did you hear that Keanu Reeves died? And I'm just like, oh, no one knows. I started screaming. Irrelevant to this situation. I just need to show this to my psychiatrist in a couple of years. Whoa! 9 Inch Nails last. That's very intense. Let's switch to balanced solid state, which you can't do by stock reasons because attached cable, Audio fucking Technica, please stop doing this shit. We're paying people are paying hundreds of dollars for this. And you know what it is? It's a Japanese thing. These are Japanese headphones made in Japan, sold in Japan mostly, I'm imagining. And the original Fostex, the version 1 Fostex, attached cable, $1,300 attached cable. Those attached cable, fucking stacks. I mean, I think stacks are a little different because they're electrostatics, but attached cable, it's just a thing. They just like, why would you ever need to detach a cable? Was that racist? I don't know. Let's listen to some stuff. Do I think the tube benefits them? I think the right series of tubes would lower the highs even more. Lindsey Sterling's broken. Okay. Evangelion 1.11. The Ray Opus 4. They seal pretty well too. They're definitely closed headphones. You're not like concerned that they're not closed headphones. They don't leak. And that means that they quiet the room down. That means you could hear... I'm not playing it very loudly. I'm only about 10 o'clock on that. And I could just... If I wasn't filming and talking to my fucking self, which is annoying while I'm trying to listen to the song, you could just hear the bells and shit ring forever. Just... That's something that semi-opens can't do. Like the other Fostex, the T60s, and even to an extent, the Mod House Argons just can't hold that side. Because his signal to noise ratio, let me tell you what SNR is. That's how far away, like the bottom hiss is from the zero of the noise, like where it should be. And if your DAC amp doesn't have a very good signal to noise ratio, you're probably going to hear the noise. Because these are that sensitive. So, ooh. Are these worth the money? Yes. Yes, they're worth the money. But, gotta try them with these pads. And if you have the skill, by all means, rip them open. And by rip them open, I mean remove the pads. There's 4 screws. This back metal piece pops off. You don't have to deal with the driver. The wires coming out of the driver are long enough. You could just cut them, put a little plug in there, solder it onto the plug, hot glue it in place. You're done. You've made them just there. That's my tutorial. That's my tutorial for these. The fact that I'm even referencing my Ether C flows is like the highest praise you can give a fucking headphone. Do they need a tube? Again, I'm not gaining much. Those particular RCA tubes that are in there are probably not removing as much of the treble as like a shittier tube would do, which I would usually like. But the bass comes up just a little bit longer, a little stretches everything out a little bit. I love them balanced, by the way. I think they do. They're one of those headphones that benefits from a balance. Not every headphone will I go, oh man, I need to balance those. I'm a balanced crazy person. I would like to try every headphone balance and then tell you HD600s absolutely benefit from a balance, and I don't know what it is. It's just it's an added bit of width to a headphone that's very usually narrow. Where were we? Machis? Ame. I'd like also to point out that these are the flagship cans, right? And look at what they come in. I've gotten Takstar Pro 82s come in a fucking metal and vinyl case in another bag that's like lined with bathing suit material that's made of the finest stuff. And this comes in a broken ass cardboard box with some broken ass cardboard stays. The Japanese don't unbox, and they don't give a fuck if the wire's attached. And their heads are obviously super wide because it's the only way this would fucking fit. Because there's a default, and there's where the human head is, and this is how wide your head has to be to have those be straight when you put them on, which I've accomplished by putting on 2-inch pads there. Those are the Alpha Dog pads. And I haven't tried to bend these, but maybe they've gotten bent from me just doing that angrily. But then these pads go on, they're thicker on top. When you just rotate them till they're thicker on top, and then it's just, it cuts into that pain. So are these recommended? Yes. I think if you're going to do pure gaming, and you're watching this video, the 1000Xs are enough. But if you're going to do some gaming, and then the rest is music, and you like trumpets and violins and kind of singing in the rain, and all that stuff, the musical side of things, the 2000s are worth the investment. And let's fucking face it, they are goddamn beautiful. Oh, that scratch there is going to bother me. Oh, God. I didn't do it. I didn't make that scratch. Yeah, they just... if Audio-Technica would just come out with a pair of headphones that was well padded and with a detachable cable and was in this sort of price range and made this sort of performance, it would be an easy win. This is just like, you can, but then you gotta just tweak it. So yeah, sound demo to these in the description. The wallpaper, everyone needs that obviously in the description. The link to the Patreon, where people have been contacting me to send me things and purchasing things in the yard sale. Things that I'm finished reviewing. Won't be those, though. Things that I finished reviewing and I just want to get out of my apartment. I throw up on a blind silent auction at the beginning of every month. You can see my Patreon in the upper right or in the description. Links to things and stuff. Things I talked about. These cables, Periapt. God bless them, man. I could not live with most of the stock cables, and then trying to buy cables just straight out without being able to ask for customization would be a nightmare. So yeah, if you're interested in these, see if they're still on Amazon. I know Mashup had a deal, and it wasn't a good enough deal to say everyone on Mashup should buy these, because how much can you drop, like $650 headphones? Flagship headphones. So yeah, What else? Real quick before we end it. If you look on my wall, you'll notice there's 3 closed headphones on it. 3 of 10. There's 10 headphones and 3 are closed. A $30 pair, an $80 pair, and an $1,800 pair. So in this butter zone, which you go down into like the $500 range, I mean, those are still cheaper. Then those are expensive. Then those are $300. Then those are $300. This is filling in a gap. Now, does it beat the Aeons? I'll tell you when I review the Aeons, which will be a while. But you know what? It's gonna be fucking hard.